Welcome to the White Knuckling It podcast with Justin Burke.
No, we got out of the life with the pre-roll.
And Mitchell O'Brien.
It's in his butt.
They share their experiences from white knuckling sobriety to becoming successful and living life in recovery.
Yeah, boy.
Welcome to the White Knuckling It podcast. I'm Justin Burke.
And I'm Mitchell O'Brien.
What's up, dude?
I am a just bubbling ball of energy tonight.
No, you're not.
Nope, I am exhausted.
Well, we've kind of had a busy day.
It has been. It's been a busy couple of days. It's recovery month, and we got a lot of stuff going on.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying.
No, right.
Well, maybe I'm complaining a little bit, but I don't mean to be that way.
I mean, it's only like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, bro.
Oh, I'm so tired. I'm so tired.
Well, like, do you sleep at night?
I try.
Well, what's this? I try.
Yeah.
You got to shut the TV off, put the phone down at a respectful time.
Well, it's like you're speaking Russian.
I have the same hard problem, bro. I can't seem to turn off my TV at night. The phone's not a big deal, but it's my TV.
Nah, I can do the TV and the phone thing. It's not a problem. I just, I want to do things. So I go do things, then I end up staying up late doing things. So.
Oh, by 9 o'clock, me and my daughter's getting ready to go to bed.
Yeah. In a perfect world, I'd be going to bed at like 7.
7?
Yeah.
What? You need like 11 hours of sleep?
The best day of 2023, the whole year for me. The last time I saw before I closed my eyes and fell asleep for the night was 6:15.
Really?
And I slept until 7 something. It was so beautiful. I haven't slept like that since.
I hate sleeping that much.
Oh,
I feel like I'm so unproductive when I sleep that much.
I don't know.
My norm's about 5.5 hours, 6.
Nope. Can't do it. I've been running on about 6.5, 6. And after a while, man, it catches up to me. And after a while, I mean like a week.
Really?
I got to get a day or a night that's 8 hours or 8 to 9 hours, at least once a week. Otherwise, it starts to wear on me. It really does. Yeah. But that's another thing that I worked on really hard when I got into recovery was at first I couldn't sleep without alcohol. It just wasn't a thing. And then I got into recovery, and you can't get addicted to melatonin, but you can get like psychologically addicted to using it to where you can't, your body, it's like you don't believe that you can sleep without it.
Well, right. Well, a lot of that, too, I believe, is the fact of your body will produce less and less and less when you take it for a long period of times. Like, it's not meant for overall fix my sleep schedule for the rest of my life.
And some people say it's that, and some people say, no, that doesn't actually happen. I've read a couple studies on it. There's a bigger belief now that it's just a psychological thing, kind of like mind over matter.
Oh.
Where, there's some people who can't do a certain thing without doing a certain other thing. And I'm tired, so I don't have any, analogies in my head about it, examples. But, it gets to the point to where you get anxious when you go to bed if you don't have the ritual of taking the melatonin first. So that anxiety then causes you not to be able to sleep. So once I removed the alcohol, I put in the melatonin and I became reliant on it. Not necessarily because it's a addictive drug, just because I believed that I couldn't sleep without it. So then I had to retrain myself off of the melatonin, and that took time because it's just like any other habit. You have to do it over and over and over again before you actually gain some traction and it becomes a rewired neural path in your head, in your brain. And then, so I spent a lot of time and effort trying to get the right amount of sleep, and I aimed for about 8 hours back then. And so now I got to do it every once in a while. Otherwise I just don't feel right. So
yeah, normally come football season, I sit down and start watching games. They'll be really exciting. Next thing you know, I'm all relaxed wherever I'm sitting, couch, recliner, and here comes nappy nap time. And it just sneaks up on me. And I'll take a short little nap. I'll wake up. Well, those games are about over. Next ones will start. All right, let's make a sandwich. Start watching the next series of games. Here comes nappy nap time again. And it's like, man, I'm going to sleep like shit tonight.
Yep.
And typically, I have a hard time falling asleep. So Sunday night, normally I either take some Motrin PMs or melatonin.
Yep.
And sometimes I like taking Motrin PMs because I deal with swelling in my feet. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll knock that out. My feet will feel really good come Monday for work. And here comes some more sleep time. So Sunday, I do get a little bit more sleep than normal. And now that I'm waking up early to like go to church with my kid, so it's like I don't get that day to like sleep in at all.
Well, Saturday.
It's been recovery month. Yeah. So, Saturday isn't even a day to sleep in either anymore. And then like this weekend,
we're going to be up early.
I'm going.
Oh, you're not part of that.
Yeah, I'm not even going to the event with you guys. I took that weekend off for Riff Fest. I don't know where our listeners are listening at, but it's a rock festival at Pine Knob Music Entertainment thing. It's down by Detroit. There's like 8 bands that are going to be there. I went last year to it, and I bought tickets this year. I'm probably going to buy tickets next year. It's probably going to be a yearly thing because it is a really fun day, especially if you like listening to live music. The tickets are like $40 a piece.
Yep.
So it's not like Upheaval in Grand Rapids, Michigan, where they're like $150 for the 2 days, because I'm just not going to pay that. I'd love to go to something like that, but to pay to go to something like that, probably ain't going to happen. Because I typically take my daughter to concerts with me. So whatever the ticket price is, I automatically times that by 2. And so it's like, ouch.
All I heard was blah, 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 blah. I'm abandoning you during recovery month.
Oh, well, I'm glad you took notice. well, last year it fell on a different weekend.
Yeah.
Than the festival that we went to last year. So I went to Riff Fest, then I had that, know. So this year they both fell on the same weekend. So that's kind of poopy because you buy these tickets in like March, and then you don't know when everyone else is planning their stuff because they're like, okay, well, blah, 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 blah. And it's just one of those things.
If you keep saying words like poopy, I won't have to hit the explicit content button.
Well, I think I already dropped an F-bomb.
Oh, well, fuck it then. So you wanted to talk about
acceptance.
Yeah.
So today I came to work. A ride we're going to say it canceled.
Yeah.
Because that's a good way of putting it. A ride canceled. So I was sitting here. I did up some notes, whatnot, a little bit of computer work. The boss man's like, why don't you call those people on our list that we have here at the office, see who wants to go to an out-of-town meeting. I was like, sweet. So I called a couple people on there, and I'm like, yo, you want to go out of town? They're like, sure. Didn't even ask where we're going or what we're doing. They're just like, sure, let's go.
Yeah.
One guy did. Another person had to work. And so he came here to the office. We had had a nice conversation all the way up there about recovery, about what it's like being in recovery now for him, and what I like to do for fun, rewarding myself for being in sobriety, and kind of like a little pat on the back. I've developed a love for concerts. It's become my new addiction, really. Hopefully one day I'll have all these bands checked off, but I doubt it. It's problems having Octane in your car that plays all the new hard rock and all the new bands that are coming out.
I just can't do radio, man.
So well, you don't get commercials on Octane. It's commercial free. You get like a DJ for like 2 or 3 minutes, and then it goes right back to all music, and it's awesome.
I've just melded into other podcasts or the exact music that I want to play. There's no commercials, I'm the DJ. You know? I'll even take a break every once in a while and be like, welcome to WJZK O'Brien. Next up, we've got Butterfly by Crazy Town.
Whoa, you're really digging deep there. But anyways, we're heading up there. I told him I like going to concerts, and he's like, yeah, well, I've been to these concerts. I'm like, whoa, dude, like we like the same type of music. Like, I wish we would have connected a while back, and we could have really planned this out a little bit, because like I have an extra ticket this weekend.
Yeah.
That I'm just gonna eat the price on. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah. I was like, but you gotta get approvals and everything else from where you're at, and we will plan a trip or something to go to some concerts together, dude. Like, that's what I enjoy doing. He's like, bet, and then we get up to this meeting where we're going up in Boyne City. It's called the BVAA, but also known as, AKA, the Yellow Submarine, because you go down in the basement of this place and it's bright canary yellow. So it's known as like the Yellow Submarine. But we get in there and they start reading chapter 16. I believe it's one of the stories in the back of the big book.
Yeah.
It's like page 407, and it's about acceptance.
Ah.
And it was just amazing, because in the beginning in the story, the guy's like, everyone else in my life has a problem. My wife has a problem. I've already sent her to 4 psychologists to like try to figure out what her problem is. I even sent my dog to a psychiatrist for dogs. Like he just didn't want to accept his problem. And like it went on for years, like 10, 15 years. It was what I gathered in the story. It's about 5 pages long if anyone wants to go read it.
I've read that. I remember that story now that you mention it.
And, and by the end of it, he's like, wow, until I finally accepted that I was the problem.
Yeah. I
couldn't fix anybody. And, I remember back when I started my addiction, I blamed everyone else. It wasn't until I was incarcerated that I was like, man, maybe I'm really the problem.
That's a Taylor Swift song.
What?
It's like, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. It is.
Well,
they don't play that on Octane?
No, they don't play Taylor Swift.
That surprises me.
I don't really listen to it, but judging by, never mind. I'm not going there. I just feel like every time she has a relationship, it's for a new album.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
And it's really sad. It's really disheartening, because all these younger females really idolize her, and for them to watch her bounce, and then write an album after each bounce, like, really?
Yeah.
Like this is who our younger females are idolizing. It's like, when does the cycle stop? When does someone take that acceptance to be like, you know what? Maybe I don't need to have a relationship. How about I do an album based off of me for once? And how I feel and how I want to project my life to the people that idolize me.
My answer involves lizard people in a different podcast, so I just can't go there.
But anyways, but yeah, it's acceptance. Yeah, I had to learn how to accept myself for who I really was. And that was hard. It took a lot of therapy. It took working some steps to realize what problem I played in it, and not so much what problem they had, what problem I had.
Right. Because in the end, the only problem that you can really change
It's me.
is your own.
You're right.
You can try and get other people to change their problems, but unless they decide to change their problems, there's nothing you can do.
Exactly.
They have to accept the fact that they have a problem.
Yep.
I've had to accept the fact that I have a problem. It's one of the reasons I stayed single all last year, pretty much, was because I just knew that relationships weren't working for me. Since we're talking about Taylor Swift and relationships and go into this. So I had to accept the fact that maybe I wasn't the healthiest person for another person. So I spent the year working on me and just, making myself a safe place for other people. But that's more of my later recovery story. Early, acceptance really, really happened when, and I've talked about this in the podcast before, and the blog that I wrote recently is I had to accept the fact that I was wrong about mental health and masculinity right at the very beginning of my recovery journey. I had this block in my head where I was a man. I didn't have to, care about my feelings. I shouldn't care about my feelings. That's how I felt. And it was a very toxic masculinity type situation. And it wasn't until I shed that and started to do all what I was calling fluffy foo-foo stuff that my therapist wanted me to do in early recovery, where I finally started to realize that, oh, that's messed up. And then I was like, okay, I see that. And it wasn't just alcohol that was my issue. It was the fact that I had actual mental health issues that needed addressed.
Yeah.
And all of my preconceived notions of this toxic masculinity was just like guarding me from being able to, well, here, I'll put it this way. My unacceptance of this toxic masculinity pre-programming was keeping me from seeing the actual problems and then doing something about it. So, yeah, I feel you, dog.
Yeah. It's a hard pill to swallow, is that whole acceptance and having to get rid of the ego and the pride, to admit to ourselves that, I am the problem. I do have a problem. And it's not until we can fully admit that we actually start to heal. Because we'll just keep spinning out. We'll do good for a little bit and spin right back out.
Yep.
Because we had a great day. I got an excellent job. I deserve to go to the bar tonight.
Yeah.
To celebrate my new job. And what's that really tell us? Because everything we watch in movies and everything else, you broke up? Okay, well, let's go to the bar and drown that sorrow.
Yeah.
That sorrow is going to be 10 times worse tomorrow because you're probably about $100 short from where you were at on a light night, at the bar. And now you have a hangover?
Yeah.
And for people in your situation,
Alcohol is not an upper.
no, it's a downer. And in people in your situation, you guys are like, well,
Sounds terrible.
I just started drinking the next morning, so I didn't have a hangover.
Yeah.
And it just rolls into day after day after day,
I have this, back when I was partying, I had this, I have this German, Polish, Irish, Celtic heritage, So hangovers for me were almost non-existent. And when I was in party phase of my life, that was the coolest thing there ever was. I look back at it now, and it was terrible. I wish that shit would have made me as sick as it did some people. Because the average hangover for me was I was a little more tired that day. My tummy didn't feel great in the morning, and it would go away pretty quick.
Oh, not for me, bro.
Oh, no.
I'd wake up with a headache, feeling like
Very rarely.
the flu.
Very rarely.
Almost.
Yep. Very
I'm
rarely
like,
would I have a headache.
Oh.
It wasn't until the latter parts where my organs were shutting down from my alcoholism that I started to feel like that.
Yeah.
And then, just drinking again would be fine. Because early on, it was always, it was usually always at night unless I didn't have a job. That's when the morning drinking would happen. So yeah, I'd be able to get through most of the day. And it was just like being groggy in the morning, just longer for a couple extra hours.
Right.
And I look back at it now and I was like, that's bad. You
Yeah.
know? And I hear there's other people that I'll talk to about it. They're like, that's awesome, man. I'm like, no, that was one of the reasons that pushed me to keep going, is, oh, I can do this. Everybody else is getting sick and I can't. I'm a drinking god. Yeah, no, that's bullshit. No, not at all. Not okay. So, yeah, I look back on that and I was like, maybe if I had gotten sick, and and people will be like, well, you just didn't drink enough. I was like, oh, no, okay. Yeah, no, that wasn't a thing. Like, so, I don't know. I don't want to glamorize it because it wasn't. It was terrible.
Yeah.
But
Because like you said, yeah, well, you didn't get sick or anything, but you did finally get sick after years of doing it to the point your body was shutting down.
yeah, dying.
Yeah. Like you were killing yourself.
Well, and people will hear me say that, and sometimes I think they are imagining me being kind of dramatic, but I was actually going into like kidney failure and heart failure. So
Yeah.
it's those Irish genes. My liver's always been good. I don't know how that works, but I shouldn't have a healthy liver today. But yeah, my kidney and my
I
heart.
got Irish, Italian, and German in me, a mix of English, but no, I get hangovers, bro.
Yeah, I don't know
Horrible.
what it is, man. And we would like get to the point to where we were drinking too much and get sick that night. But we were stupid. We were stupid immature party boys. So we would drink till we got sick, and that just meant you could drink more.
Well, yeah, because you already puked it all up.
Yep.
You were taking in your blood alcohol content, which is probably through the roof.
Oh, yeah.
You're just like, well, I just puked all that up. Let's drink another bottle.
People are like, oh, I got alcohol poisoning once. I'm like, I'm pretty sure alcohol poisoning was a way of life for me for a while.
Yeah.
Like I don't see how I lived that way and didn't just get alcohol poisoning over and over and over and over again.
I think I've gotten it a few times and never went to the hospital.
No.
I went to the store, got some Gatorades, ate some Motrin, Tylenol, alternating them.
We call it vitamin I. Ibuprofen.
Yeah, vitamin I.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
I look back on it and we can kind of laugh at it, and it was fun in the beginning. That's another thing I wrote about recently is it comes to you, substance use or addiction comes to you looking like this thing that's going to give you fun.
it looks like a playground.
Well, it's going to give you fun. It's going to give you relaxation. It's going to give you these things. And in the end, it took all the relationships that I had, trust in anybody. It took a car for me. It took multiple jobs for me. It took the relationship with my son that I had and any kind of respect. It took all of these things and my physical health, my emotional and mental health. And then, in that publication, I wrote that, the opposite of that is, then I have recovery, and recovery was the opposite at first. It looked like taking a bunch of things away.
Right.
And it was hard. It took a lot of effort. I don't like talking about this much with people because, it doesn't glamorize it at all. But with that effort, with the discipline, I started to get these things back. And not necessarily get them back. Like it was a rebuilding from zero. So I was getting different and new things. And then all of a sudden, I hadn't just gained the amount of things that I had lost. There started to be added blessings on top of it. So it's like an opposite, substances come in and they show you, we're going to, do all this fun stuff. And then you end up almost dying. And then while you're almost dying, now you have to put in a bunch of effort and discipline in recovery. And people don't want to do that because that's the hard thing. But by the time you get into it, you start to reap the benefits and the good things start happening. And it's so worth it.
Right.
It really is. So I don't know of a better, nicer way to explain that, but it really, it really starts with that acceptance that we were talking about.
Yeah,
it really
and it really doesn't matter what drug of choice you have.
Mm-hmm.
It'll come at you all fun and games, cool, yay, and then I don't know. Some of them are faster to take things away than others,
Mm-hmm.
but you do learn very quickly that you'll lose everything you own just about.
Yep.
You'll just about be homeless. You'll face incarceration at one point in time in your life
Mm-hmm.
for something dumb, stupid
Yep.
that you did that you know better than to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then hopefully you can find recovery. Or otherwise, it's a really sad way to look at it, but there's only one other choice. If you don't find recovery, you will be 6 feet down, you
And
know?
before you have to be,
Yeah.
that's the reality. Not everybody finds it.
Yeah. It's like a lot of people idolize the 27 Club. Have you ever heard of that with the rock musicians? Like Janis Joplin's in it, Kurt Cobain's in it,
yeah.
Hendrix is in it. These are all people that have died to drugs and alcohol. There's a few more people in it, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
I just don't right offhand. Those are the three that I mainly remember,
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of people idolize that. Be like, I want to be in the 27 Club.
Yeah. No.
And it's like, what are you talking about, dude? You got a whole life ahead of you. You got a family that loves you and everything else. I used to be that way, wanted to be in that little 27 Club. And yeah, this wasn't the case.
Right. Yeah, I remember being 20 years old when I started drinking a little bit when I was 18, mostly when I was 19, and got really heavy in it when I was 20. And then it just got worse once it was legal.
Yeah.
And I think my header on Facebook was, I'll be lucky if I make 25. And it wasn't exactly that, but it was something like that. I thought it was hilarious.
Right.
Here I am, 37 years old.
Does that ever pop up in your memories?
Sometimes there's really dumb shit from my past that pops up in my memories, and I just go, "Oh God,
Mine
rid of
too.
that. delete."
I should go back and delete this post. I don't know why it's still on there.
You know
but
how much I
whatever.
post on Facebook? You've seen that? That's always been a thing. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of posts. There's no way without deleting my Facebook. And I'm proud that I've only ever had one Facebook profile.
Me too.
Yeah.
Just one.
Yep, that's not common in our community.
No.
You see, you'll meet somebody new in the recovery community, and you'll look them up on Facebook, and there's 7 of them.
Yeah, you're like, wow, which one are you using, bro?
Every time they get out of jail, they get a new Facebook.
Yeah. and they're thinking they're hiding everything because they get a new Facebook.
No, nope. It's just easier to find it because we don't have to scroll as far.
Right. But yeah, that's what I had to bring to the table is just learn how to accept yourself for who you are and learn how to be okay with that.
Yeah.
And then the healing process will start.
Well, and some people need to hear it softer, like, hey, this is how it's going to work. Some people just need to stop being an asshole to other people and themselves. Get out of the denial stage. And, you have to start accepting that you're this way.
You know what? As you just said, asshole, there's this wonderful song that Tom McDonald did. And you may have heard it. It's called Buttholes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Everybody go listen to it.
Yeah, everyone go listen to it. Mitch should put it in the description of the podcast.
I can link it.
And so that way, it does happen. And then, he is a person in recovery. He's got a few songs out there that's about recovery.
He released a song recently, too.
he's always releasing new music every 2 or 3 weeks, but the man never goes on tour.
Yeah.
He's like a basement artist.
He's-
He doesn't go on tour. I've looked for the past 3 years to go see one of his shows, and he never goes on tour.
My favorite thing about him is that a lot of his stuff is funny, but also it's meaningful in the
Yeah.
same song, you know? So you're going to laugh and it's going to be a little awkward, but, you know, at the same time,
Yep.
it's good. So, but yeah, man, just tell everybody, hit us up on Facebook, hit us up on X. There's White Knuckling It. Is it
.com.
.com?
And
I
you
keep
can
forgetting if
email us
podcast is part of it.
at info@whiteknucklingit.com.
Yep. That's what we got to stay.
Later.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the White Knuckling It podcast. For more details on the show and for more episodes, log on to whiteknucklingit.com.